We are live. What's up, beasties? It's me, it's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast, Chris, and I am here for another episode of Beast Friends Forever with my good friend E.H. Bradley right here. How's it going?
All right, mate. All right, not too bad. Yourself?
Awesome. I'm doing good. I'm excited. I'm pumped. We planned this a while. We've been looking forward to this. It's gonna be great to chat, man.
Yeah. We did. We texted ages ago. We were meant to do it a little bit sooner, weren't we? But I think we got a bit sidetracked or whatever.
Oh
Well,
yeah, we had.
waiting on
It's
your
always
book.
hard to figure out the difference, the time difference, because where I'm at it's about 5, and where you are it's almost 10 o'clock, right?
Normally, I would be in bed by now. Yeah,
So you're staying up late just for me.
just for you and my beer, of course.
Well, of course, you got to finish that beauty right there.
Got to have a nail if I'm talking about Ranger.
All right, we got a couple friends to say hi, and they'll start trickling in. But right now we've got Corlags in here, sipping coffee. Ooh, I like that. I've just got a pop. Lame. And then we've got Alex is here. What's up, Alex? Having the wizard cool my wine.
Nice.
I like it. I like it. What kind of wine you got, Alex? That's the question. So, why don't we start off? We're going to talk a lot about this BEA, beautiful book right here that I read, and the writing's just as beautiful. I love it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you, and then tell us a little bit about your book, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Okay. I guess like every writer or every reader, I started when I was really young. My cousin gave me my first one. You know those interactive game books.
Oh yeah,
It
yep.
long before, well, when Super Mario was popular at that time. So you'd start with the background, you'd set up the character and go to chapter or paragraph one even, and
Yeah,
then choose your own adventure. And the first one I
yeah.
got,
There you go. Choose your own adventure. Yeah.
I've mentioned this in my new book actually. Charlie, the um, the main character, he's becoming a writer himself, and I put a little bit of myself in there. So the first book I read was Lone Wolf number two, Fire on the Water.
Nice.
Series, very good. But you were in that, you were kind of the same character as what Aragorn is. A ranger, or yeah, just a ranger, that kind of sword wielding guy who goes out into the world and helps people. I moved on from those onto Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson's Fighting Fantasy series. Um,
Okay.
they were one of the guys who promoted D&D and all that kind of stuff. They brought it to England basically in the 70s and 80s, and then they wrote their own books, Fighting Fantasy. And again, Ian Livingstone, Steve Jackson did a lot of a mixture of stuff, kind of like what I do, fantasy, horror, whatever. But he did a lot of sci-fi but Ian Livingstone, he would normally stick to traditional fantasy stuff. And in his books, there was he kind of played as a reoccurring character. There was a wizard like Furadil in there called
Oh,
Yastrimo.
nice.
And you played at this guy, and it always reminded me of Aragorn was just the encapsulation of this character.
Mm-hmm.
Where the Ranger came from, I always, throughout the years, always, because Aragorn's in his 80s or something, when he's in Lord of the Rings, he's old.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I always, in the back of my head, wanted to see what a young ranger would do when he first finished training, and that was it. That's all I had at the beginning of Ranger. I just seen him heading south towards Silverton.
Mm-hmm.
The sun was coming down on a summer evening, and that was it. That was it. I just sat down and didn't really plan much. I seen a river next to him, the Silverfish River, how he entered Silverton, and what's going to happen when he comes into the inn. There's got to be an inn. I'm Irish.
Yeah. Of course, there has to be.
There's got to be pubs and beer,
Yep.
and everything, and it all just literally unfolded like a movie. I know it's like kind of cliche, but that's the way it did in my head.
Yeah.
Arlene in the beginning was only meant to, um, he was only just meant to meet her in the pub,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she was going to be involved, but as I got to know her a little bit, and how cheeky she was, I was like, nah,
Mm-hmm.
she's got to be more.
Yep.
And I didn't make her up. I kind of based her on my wife and the way she is, but that
Okay.
that personality came through, and she grew, and as I got to know her and as I got to like her, I went, nah, it's more. And then as I was going along and building the story up, when Fairdale sends him to Fairweather Farms in the beginning, I wanted to be light, and I wanted to kind of fool the reader into thinking, is this just going to be some cozy, light-hearted thing?
Right, right.
I didn't want to. I like a slow burn, if you like, a slow burn and a higher payoff, or like a nice steady build to it. And of course, Arlene had to meet him in the woods on the way there, and the more their relationship grew, and the more important she became to me, the more important she became to the story, and ultimately what ended up happening to her.
Yeah,
which I don't want to ruin for anyone who.
Yeah, no, it was very well done. Yeah, I loved their first their first meeting was good, but then I kind of thought like, oh, is this just going to be somebody that he meets in the inn, in the bar, and then he thinks about her a lot, but that's like her only part. So I was really happy to see when he goes for his first mission or whatever, and they meet in the forest. And I love that whole interaction, how she thought she got the drop on him, but then he replies like he already knew she was there. I love that their banter, and I loved watching their relationship grow. So I think you did a great job with that. And I felt that through the story, how she just became more and more of an important part to the story. So
I didn't even know she was going to be in the tavern until I wrote it, and until Airden sat down, and then in my head I seen this girl coming through. And I've changed the beginning. Say that Airden hoped that he'd seen her, or hoped that he would see her, hoped that he'd see that face again. It was just something I had to tie back, because originally she only appeared whenever Airden sat down and Ray had took his order or whatever. And
oh wow,
that's the beauty of it. That's what I love the most. It's like people plan, which is fine. We're all different, and it doesn't matter how you get to the end result. It's the journey, and it's the product at the end of the day. But I like the not knowing. I like to start with a situation and a character, a group of characters, and see what happens. Just go for it.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to do it. I feel like with the way I write, that's kind of how I am too. You get the bare bones of where you want to go and the story down, and then you kind of let them, your characters lead the way, right? That's a fun way to do it.
I mean, it's scary. It is, but you should let that fear drive you.
Right.
You should just relax into it. Have your music on, because I wrote the whole thing to Lord of the Rings soundtrack.
Nice.
Over and over. The really nice instrumental versions and things. And so when I was there, it's probably why the description sometimes are so deep, is because I really saw it. So when they left the woods, they were heading up into the Dania Hills, right across to the flat by Davy's place. I've seen all that, and I know you shouldn't over describe, so I tried not to do that and maybe trim a bit. At the same time, I couldn't help put down what I put down, because it's exactly what I saw.
Yeah, that's cool. Man.
But definitely inspired by having the soundtrack on. Any other drafts afterwards, I find music distracts you, because you really need to concentrate. Bringing the second draft for me is about fixing all your spelling mistakes, grammar, and all that stuff. And your third then is hopefully dialogue and description, and really trying to bring it alive before it goes to the editor. So I tend to not listen to music after the first, but the first draft, all the way, blaring, blasting, just everything.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, I bet that would definitely get you in the mood for sure. We got a couple more friends that have come in. Timothy Wolf, what's up? Happy Monday to you too. Thanks for being here.
Hello, mate.
And then Ted is here from Ted Red Instead. What's up, Ted? Thanks for being here, man. I wanted to go back for a second because I hadn't heard of the fighting fantasy books. But Corley said they're doing new ones of those. Had you heard that?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Ian Livingstone released, I think it's a sequel to, is it Death Trap Dungeon, or Death Trap Dungeon already had a sequel. I think it's the third book in that. Death Trap Dungeon was set in the city of Fang, where champions of all sorts every year would come to this. I think it's the Baron or the mayor or the lord of this town called Fang, and they would go down into like a catacombs, like a big labyrinth, and have to fight their way through. And at the end, whoever made it through would win
Very
the
cool.
Death Trap Dungeon. That was the first one, and then Trial
Okay.
Champion. So you played as one of those characters. I loved that stuff when I was a kid.
That's so cool.
Video games. I played all the Souls games, which I love. I love a good challenge.
Did you beat them all too?
Yeah, several times.
Oh man, good for you. I still haven't beat one. I played them all. I haven't never beat one.
No, I mean with the help of guides and stuff like that, and leveling up and there's certain ways to do it. But again, it's like writing. Sometimes you get stuck, and you have to, just push through. You have to, because if you don't, it won't be done, and no one will ever read your stuff. And it's the same like when you're playing Souls. If you don't push through, if you don't go and learn a certain boss's move set or whatever, you'll never beat it. And
sure.
I won't be defeated. If I set myself something, I'm not going to stop until I do it, until I get it done. So maybe Souls help with my writing as well.
Yeah.
But going back to Fighting Fantasy, the video games back then, as I said, with Mario, Sonic, and all that stuff, which were amazing at the time.
Yeah.
But those books, in my mind, is what Elden Ring looks like now, or what the Souls games look like. But,
oh yeah, for sure.
Lying at the end of your bed by the light of the hallway, my mum used to come up at 2 a.m. go, get to bed.
Yeah.
That was her fault anyway, because she was a massive movie buff and story buff. So I kind of get it from her. My dad, not so much. But my mum, sure, Star Wars, everything,
Oh, that's cool.
Legend, all the great 80s movies.
Yeah. That's
which
awesome.
I kind of hint to a lot in my new book, The Veil, which is very, very different to The Ranger. We could talk about that.
I was gonna say, I don't know how much you can talk about that, but so let's move into that by saying what's your plans for The Ranger, that world and that book series, and then what else are you working on or planning to work on?
I have I've written a short story that's going to bridge between The Ranger, the first book, and the next one, which we are all the Secret Scribes, where we've all written, well, most of us have written short stories, a fantasy collection, an anthology that we're going to do.
Cool. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've read most of the guys' stories. They're very good, very diverse. There's quite a choice there, if you like. So I've written one just after, a few years after the end of The Ranger.
Okay.
It features Eridan and Arlene, and they're called the King Crow lands, and they're called away to do something.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
All right. I like it. I'm in.
It's got a nice little horror element to it.
Nice.
So it's, that's a hint as to what I'm aiming for the next book. If you imagine, if The Ranger is like the soft entry, like The Hobbit is into Lord of the Rings, that's what The Ranger is for me. It's a soft way of entering the world of Eshna with Eridan and crew. It's going to get dark, very dark.
I like that.
But I probably won't write. The Veil's written. I'm finishing the third draft, hopefully in the next week to 10 days. And Alex will kill me if I don't get the short story edited and finished, submitted by the end of December. So I will be starting that next week, Alex. With my editing, and I've got to cut some words out of it. So then the Veil will go to my new editor in January. But I've already got another book queued up in my head called Ferndale. I won't say much about that at the minute. But as soon as Ferndale's written, which it'll take me about 3 months getting the first draft down. Maybe summer it'll be ready for editing. I might just jump into the next Ranger story then. In fact, we will. I have got another one queued up, but I'm fighting between that and the Ranger. But we'll see.
You got a lot of things going. That's awesome, man. That's very cool.
Yeah, it's like this. Yeah, I know, Alex. It's coming. Don't worry. It's like
Uh,
this. I mean, if you want to do it, you got to read a lot. Obviously, you learn so much and read as wide as you can. But if you want to write, you have to do it every day, as much
mhm,
reading every day. Even if you're working full time, all
right.
the scribes, they all work really hard.
Yeah.
Everyone, including myself. And I set it like a target every day. I get in at 4:30, 4:45, and I don't leave my room when I'm writing until I have 1,500 to 2,000 words down. You just
Nice.
have. It's tough, but as I said to you earlier, you do get used to it.
Right.
Because editing is different. Editing is torture. It's torture. Second
Right.
draft is fun because you're really enhancing. But when you've read your own book 15 times over, I just want to throw it in the fire now. I'm sick of it.
Just be done with
It-
it.
yeah, it's just perseverance though, and you learn with every book. You learn with every sentence you write. You learn with every paragraph you write. Every
Mhm.
word. Um, there's so much I would change. But the Ranger, I'm proud of it. No, it's my first book, and I've learned so much since then. I would love to enhance it one day. Maybe write a kind of a version two and enhance it and really bring it more alive with uh, with the improved skills that I think I have, which is
Yeah.
something that I'm toying with. That if I when I'm writing the second one, to actually do like a kind of a little bit of a revamped version on the original.
Yeah.
You bring it in line and maybe hint more at the darkness that's going to happen. The
There
next
you go.
the next two books are going to be dark. I want to take it right up.
All right. I love the dark stuff, so that sounds good to me. Um, Alex had a good question here. He said, "What's both of our favorite foods since the Ranger has so many delicious meals in it? What would you say your favorite food is?"
I'm going to go with what I always order when I go to a restaurant with the wife:
Okay.
a decent steak and chips or fries,
Nice.
and a nice red wine gravy or garlic sauce. You
Oh,
can't beat that. Medium rare, you know.
oh yeah. I, I would have to be right there with you. Like, I love pizza, I love Chinese food, I love Mexican food, but a good steak, oof, yeah, I'm right there with you, man.
Alex actually thought that he said when he first read The Range, he said, "Are you a chef?" And I was like, he goes, "Well, you sound like you were a chef with all
Sound
the
like you know what you're talking about, yeah.
and everything." Oh, I mean, I cook a little bit, but not much. In fact,
Mhm.
everything that's cooked in the Ranger is pretty much what I would cook. Not as nice as the Ranger, but yeah, we would do.
Right. Perfection in a meal right there. That does sound really good. I know when they early on when they catch that boar and they cook it up the way you described it, I'm like, I was getting hungry. I'm like, dang, that sounds good.
I was getting hungry when I was writing it. It did sound nice.
Making
He got some fruit or something and infused it with the. Oh yeah, yeah. Now I'm getting hungry.
Oh, we gotta hold Alex to this. Might have to go to Texas just for that premium steak. His treat.
Hell yeah.
That's
Women make women make it big, Alex. Eh? And I've got the money.
that's right. That's right. Yeah,
And the
you'd have to go even further than me.
mm,
That'd really be a trip for you.
halfway across the world. Eh?
Yeah, right. Oh man, that'd be something. Um, so so the Ranger is fantasy, and the other stuff you're working on, we don't have to talk about it a lot because you're just working on it. But it is not going to be in fantasy. It's going to be more in the horror
Horror.
genre.
I hate that word horror. I really do because I think it's a horrible word for one. Word.
Yeah,
To me, it sounds all horror doesn't have to be gruesome or it doesn't have
right.
to be. I like the more. I like more
Suspense.
suspense and scary.
Mhm.
Like on the
Yeah,
edges.
yeah.
And I do like suspense. Like you can tell with the Ranger, I like building things up. So the Veil. No, I could talk about the Veil. I mean, it's finished now, so it's going to be out soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's about it's set in Northern Ireland in the area where I'm from, and it's actually I had an accident when I was a kid. The first chapter, the window
Yeah.
that
Oh,
that happened to
that
me. I
happened to you. Wow.
was 13.
That was pretty intense, man. I bet that was even more intense in real life.
Well, not the teacher and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, I figured that part probably didn't happen, but
yeah, that's the window is the truth wrapped in a lie. Well, all good fiction is truth wrapped in a lie,
right.
as Stephen King says. But that is the. I start off that by it's December, and then Charlie, the main character, lets you know that there's a storm coming, and that storm is in a way symbolic for what happens to them, because that storm is the catalyst to everything. It literally is a storm that storms their lives out of everything that they've ever known. That one thing alone, because you haven't read anything past the first. I will be sending it to you and Alex soon for some beta reading. But that storm, what causes it to happen, sets in motion a chain reaction of events that when they wake up and they start to see things that
okay.
no one else can see, basically. Well, no, there is other people who can see it, but they're in hiding for very good reason. You can't let it be known that you've become unveiled, if you like. The veil is something that is wrapped over every one of our everyone that we know, their eyes. It's a prison that you can't see, smell, or touch. So through the accident, they become unveiled, if you like, and they start to see that the world is not what we think it is, and everything from there unravels to a point where, yeah, it gets pretty crazy.
Oh
Pretty
man. Good. I can't wait. Yeah, I was lucky enough to read the beginning, and it's fantastic. It's gonna I'm excited for people to get to read it. And I'm excited to read the rest. I'm really pumped, man. It's great. It's fantastic.
It was very difficult to write because it was the first time I'd read Stephen King's Fairy Tale, and I was in the middle of writing The Ranger at this point while I was reading Fairy Tale, and that's in first person told from the main character.
Yeah.
And I was lying in bed as I always am reading, and I was thinking to myself, the veil's got to be first person. It was building in my head the catalyst and all the different things that happened to them. Originally, there was only going to be one character, one kid that was going to see the world for what it really is, and that group of four of them, him, his girlfriend, his cousin, and his cousin's girlfriend, who is based upon the cousin is my cousin, 100%. It's
oh really? That's awesome.
Who unfortunately he passed away a few years ago. Alcohol got the better of him during COVID, and he was my best mate all my life. We were born 6 months apart, so it was a very hard time a few years ago. And writing The Veil let me have one last adventure with him, if you like. It's in my way, it's a way to say it's my way of saying goodbye to him, if you like. Putting a wee bit of closure there. But it's him. It's Marty through and through, 100%.
Oh man, that's awesome. I'm sorry to hear that, but that's so cool that you were able to write a character into one of your books like that and kind of pay homage to him. That's awesome.
Well, it made him very easy to write as well, because I know him inside and out, and that was his personality. So the girls are based on. I find it easier if you can base your characters on people, or even loosely on people they'll tell you how they behave rather than you dictate to them, which is a weird experience because they end up doing things that you never even expected. So The Veil, again, I had a little bit of planning. I had a bit of not an outline, but I knew where I wanted to go, and I knew where they were going to end up. I just didn't know how they were going to get there, and when they got there, I didn't know what was going to happen to them either. So the ending even surprised me. I was writing, I was like, oh, this is fucking cool. But I still haven't finished the ending. Almost.
Oh man.
Third draft, I just couldn't. It was. I know what I need to say, and I'm going to write it this week or next. And I've got it all written down. I actually wrote for the first time by hand the other day because I was sitting.
Oh wow.
I was watching something on sitting right here watching a movie or something, and in my head I was thinking, you need to finish the veil. I was like playing over and over. I was like, I know, brain, no, shut up, I will. And then a conversation between some characters span into my head. I ended up reaming it all out in my head. I was like, right, I've got to write this down. I've got to. This is good stuff, and I've ended. It's here now. It's there in the note.
Oh man, nice.
Which I will type up later. I've got the end, and I just need to restructure the last couple of chapters, the last chapter, and get that finished, and then we'll see. It'll be off to you guys for beta reading soon.
All right, sweet. Can't wait. That is awesome, man. So I need to ask, because I keep thinking it every time you put your hand up, about the tattoos on your hands.
Oh, yeah. This one.
Those are cool, man.
That was all about my arm.
Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, that's sweet.
Whole lot of roses, and this one is camera.
Oh yeah. I see it. Oh yeah, I see it now. That's cool.
That goes up my arm too. The one on here is actually the video game Last of Us 2.
Oh yeah.
Ellie's tattoo, the one with the leaves and all that.
Okay, nice.
Those
are sweet.
Yeah, The Last of Us was one of my all-time favorite video games. Even though 2 is very controversial, it's very difficult. You know what happened to Joel and all that. I mean,
oh yeah. I played 1, and then I got spoiled what happened in 2. I have it, but I played the beginning, but I've never gotten past that point yet.
You should play it because it is bar none probably one of the best third-person shooters.
Oh, that's what I've heard. Yeah.
The story is horrendously hard to get through. It really will cripple you.
Yeah.
If you play it with an open mind, but it's not even that. It's the engine they use. It graphically is stunning, but it's how it feels in your hand is like wow. It's just and you have Ellie's story and then Abby's, and
yeah,
it really does teach you to open your mind.
Right.
Because in your books too, or anything you write, everyone's the main character. Everyone believes that they are right.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
As Stephen King said it in Misery, Annie Wilkes, in her head, she's correct.
She's right. Yeah. She's
the
hero. Yeah.
She's gone through shit. So when you write like that, and you won't write like kind of cliched or whatever. If you write from a point of view, like everyone cares about what they think, and especially villains, it really makes your villains come to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which I got to play with a lot in the Veil, which is a lot. I find a lot more fun writing evil than normal people.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I bet.
You can really play with it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you can go a lot further with a villain than you can with a hero, right?
Yeah, you scare yourself sometimes. You go, hold on, up me.
How did I think of that?
I'm not. It's the character.
Oh man, yeah, right. I just saw Britton, Samoki dude, came in. Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. And then Corlag made a good point. He said, "Love it when writing scenes surprises me." I think that is a cool. That's why I think it's cool to do it the way you do it, because you can be surprised instead of having everything so meticulously plotted out that you're just writing what you already know. You're actually experiencing the story yourself as you're writing it, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, but you're the first person to read it essentially.
Yeah.
Why not enjoy it? You know, I find if you plot it out every single detail all the way through. Now this is just me.
Right.
And by the time you come to write it, you've used up quite a lot of your creativity. You know, that spontaneity of, well, you're just writing it, and then you think you're going one way, and then all of a sudden, well, that's not going to happen.
Right.
Holy shit! And then you're surprised.
I got to do that. Yeah.
And then it spurs you on for the next few chapters, and then you don't care at that point when you're confident that your brain will tell you or the story will tell you where to go. You don't care about writing blind anymore. You have an idea, of course. You have an idea. You have a certain direction to kind of guide you in the darkness, if you like. You know, light at the end of the tunnel. But very often, more than not, that light changes. You know, its position. It's something over here or over there or whatever. It's just your job just to follow the light, and eventually you get there. Eventually you will.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Then he said, then you start focusing on how do I fix this to fit, right? If you have it all planned out, you start thinking, oh, I got to make this fit into this, whereas opposed to just being able to go where you have your characters going.
Exactly. Then it comes off. If you're trying to shoehorn stuff in, it becomes, and readers will subconsciously detect that it can come off maybe sometimes a little bit wooden, and or they'll. If you're writing your book and you don't know where it's going to go, then your readers won't know where it's going to go, and you'll always leave them guessing. But if you know,
Right.
you'll subconsciously hint towards it, or you will leave cookies that people go, I know it's going to happen here.
Yeah.
But if you don't, and you're just writing it as you see it and as you feel it, your readers won't know either.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
that's my theory on it.
That's a good theory. I think that's good. Very insightful. Speaking of insights, our friend Dr. L from Novel Insights. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. Just popped in. So I want to go back for a second and ask, because you love Last of Us, have you watched the show? And what do you think of it?
I didn't like it as much as the game. Gel with me. I think Bella Ramsey's a great actress, but she just she didn't look enough like Bella or like Ellie for me. I think that's what kind of threw me off. I think Pedro Pascal was okay as Joel, but there's a lot better choices that the fans actually picked before that. Like Hugh Jackman would have been amazing.
He would have been. Yeah, that's true.
Even what do you call him, Jamie Lannister from Game of Thrones. Nikolai Costa. There's some mock-ups they did before.
Yeah, he would have been great. Yeah,
amazing. And
yeah.
I mean, it's okay to deviate a little, but in the first season there was hardly any zombies, and I know it's the zombies are a side story, but because of the action that like in the Ranger, you have your downtimes, and you have your storytelling, and then building up, and then you want the action scenes to pop.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about. But then I think the zombies were only in it 2 or 3 times, and very briefly as well. So I was disappointed. It didn't work for me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I definitely like the games better. It was cool to see some of the scenes that were almost like lockstep with the game. It was kind of cool, but yeah, overall it was I mean, I don't think it's bad, but yeah, overall I was hoping for more. So
I don't think it's bad at all. But I finished the first game about 15 times. So
so good.
I haven't done it in a while, but I had a tradition since it came out up until about last year where I would play it twice a year, all the way through. Beginning and near the end. I didn't just like that much, and I've done that quite a lot, even with part 2. But that probably ruined it for me because I just you could have just took the game and just made that exactly because a lot of people.
For sure. I agree.
I think with season 2 though, they're going to really ramp up the zombies and everything. And is it Catelyn Dyer? I think's playing Abby. I think she'll nail it. So I think season 2 could be better, but we'll see. I'll watch it and see. Of course.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, we'll see what they do. It's gonna be interesting. Alex wants to know what our favorite video games are. I'm guessing yours is Last of Us, or is it something else?
Well, I like my writing. I play quite a wide variety of games, but it's always I only play single player, so it would be Last of Us. But that would go to Dead Space, which is a horror game. Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil 2. That's my favorite.
The original Resident Evil 3, not the remake, was terrible.
Oh yeah.
The new Silent Hill 2 remake is.
Ooh, I haven't played that yet. I love Silent Hill.
It's terrifying. All the Dark Souls series, Elden Ring, Sekiro is probably one of my all-time favorites.
I've heard that's good.
It's difficult, but when you master the combat, you feel like a pure badass because you get destroyed. You get so destroyed. And I think I finished that really close to 17 times because I ended up getting good at it eventually, or getting used to the combat, and then that's what I said. You struggle your first playthrough, And then when it really clicks with you, the whole game just opens up, like every From Software game.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't have an exact favorite, but those would cover the range of games I would play.
Oh, nice. Very
Apart
good.
from this year, I've just been writing. I haven't got.
Yeah, right. Not as much time to play now, right? When you're writing all these things, for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah, I would say Resident Evil 2. I feel like survival horror was like my jam when I was middle school, primary school. You helped me know what that means.
Mhm.
Middle school here, but primary school. In high school, like all those games, Silent Hill and all the Resident Evil games. But I also really loved Metal Gear Solid. Did you ever play those games back in the day?
Of course,
Oh
yes.
yeah,
Brilliant.
that stuff's just so good, so
They should.
good.
They really need to remake part one properly.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know part
yeah,
three's coming and it looks
yeah.
fantastic.
Looks
I
great.
think I think if it does well, they will make part one. They did
Yeah,
part
that'd be cool.
GameCube. Remember the Twin Snakes, which
Oh
was
yeah,
fantastic
yeah, yeah. Yep,
with
yep, yep. That's right. Yeah.
graphics. But I want a behind the shoulder
Yes.
camera, third person view.
That'd be
One
so
amazing. What a story!
cool.
All the
Hmm.
bosses and everything.
Oh yeah, that could be awesome.
Three was amazing too. Going
Oh,
back
it's
to
so good.
was it the 50s or whatever?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Big Boss
That
and
was
everything.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Boss. Yep. Oh, those games were so good. Yeah, I'd say those are all my favorite. I mean, there's a lot of awesome games out now, but those ones will always have me. So good. Um, Sean is here. Sean O'Boyle, what's up? Another secret scribe.
Oh mate.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. And it's funny too because I I realize as I've had you guys on the channel and stuff, I think I have all of your guys' books. I have every Secret Stripes book, which is pretty cool. So yeah, now I just have to have you all on the channel eventually, and I'll have like the trifecta. Have the
I'm
books,
working
read the books,
through.
have you on the channel.
I'm working my way through too, buying them all as well. I've got most of them now. I can't even show you. I've got new shelves ordered from
Oh,
Amazon.
nice.
They'll be down this week. So
Okay.
I'm at my little writing studio now, and I'm going to put the shelves just here. So
Oh yeah.
I'll send you a picture when I have all my
Heck
books.
yeah. You're gonna have a nice setup.
Hopefully, yeah, it
Great.
should be pretty cool.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
I used
Sean
to be
said power's growing. That's right. Secret Scribes taking over. Not so secret anymore.
I used to be in a little cupboard at the top of the stairs, but
Oh,
my wife
nice.
the wife kicked me out because she wants a walk-in wardrobe. So I'm now in the corner of our bedroom.
Oh, nice, nice.
It's perfect. You don't need much more than your keyboard and a desk to write.
Oh yeah, you just need a little spot. I know how that is. This setup I'm in right now is actually in my unfinished storage room in the corner. So every once in a while, like the furnace will kick on, or someone turns on some water and the pipes are really loud, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need like a real actual room with walls and a ceiling without all this noise, and it's cold.
That
But
sounds
you
good.
make do. You figure it out.
I would use that. You could use that in a story.
I know that's true. That's true. The
Something
set the vibe, right?
nice, yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Good fiction is truth buried in the lie.
I like that. I need to write that down. That's good. So we talked about video games, and you talked about Lord of the Rings, obviously being a big thing for the Ranger. What any other shows or movies, things like that inspired your writing,
Maybe not so much inspired my writing, but
or
I'll
that
have
you
to
just love?
think about that. But I will say one streaming service that I highly recommend if you haven't
Mhm.
got Apple TV.
Oh,
Holy
Apple TV has so many good things. I feel like everything they put out is great.
It's excellent. I've watched so much stuff on there. Slow Horses was amazing.
Oh,
The British Spy, like
mhm.
all the horses, they're the useless guys out of MI6, but they end up well. I won't say anything in case anybody hasn't watched it, but
Yeah. I heard it's good. I need to. I don't have Apple TV, but I want to get it because I mean, there's just so many shows on there.
oh, dude, it's amazing. Dark Matter is another one, and
Yeah, I
then
love the book. I gotta watch the show still.
it's with the guy he created the portal between all the
Ah,
TV show. Is amazing,
I heard
really.
that. It's really good, yeah. And then
Um,
what's the one with space travel? Shoot. You know what I'm talking about? It's why
Invasion.
can't I can't remember what it's called. Something with mankind in it or something for I can't remember. If anybody in the chat, unless I'm crazy, I swear there's one with space travel or something, like astronauts or something.
Send me
But
a
I,
text on that one if you think of it.
yeah,
The
if
first one I watched
somebody
was
knows about it.
Disclaimer was another one from
Oh yeah, I heard about that one too. Yeah, yeah.
the one- is it Emma Thompson? No, not Emma Thompson. Who do you play Galadriel in Lord of the Rings? What do you call her?
Oh yeah, shoot. Oh yeah.
I know it's just left me too. If you
We're batting zero right now, remembering these things. I know who you're talking about.
want, disclaimer, she's in that with Ali G's actually her husband. He's not Ali G, obviously. He's
Right.
quiet guy, but that was good. It's a short season or just like a one-off, but it was very good. What else have I watched? Slow Horses, Dead Matter, Dark
And
Matter.
the what's it called? Silo. Did you watch that one?
Yes,
Silo's on there, right?
very good. Season 2's started now. I'm going to wait until it's finished.
Gotta get Apple TV. Too many good shows on there. I'm missing out on.
But yeah, movies as well. I mean, like, there's a lot of movies who are going to inspire my future writing for sure. Dawn of the Dead being one.
Oh,
You know,
classic.
the Zack Snyder remake is.
Yes.
I think
It
it's
was
one of the best zombie movies ever made. It's just perfect.
Yeah, I like that one.
I love zombie stuff like Resident Evil. All I love that. So I have an idea for Jersey where I live in right now.
Mhm.
It's the perfect little sandbox. It's a 9x5 island,
Oh,
and if a zombie apocalypse hit here, it would
oh
be
yeah.
chaos. So that
Sure.
that, that is definitely a future idea for something. It's an itch I have to scratch at some
For
point.
sure. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Foundation. They have a Foundation show too. That's right. That's another one.
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
have.
There's all sorts of ones. That would be a crazy setting for zombie, like somewhere where there's that many people trapped and really can't go anywhere. That would be
Mhm.
wild.
I
For
mean,
sure.
you'd have to have something. You can't just have them run around the island trying to survive.
Right.
Jersey's so small that the food wouldn't last long here. It wouldn't
Yeah.
take long for the co-ops and all the
Right.
supermarkets to be drained.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
logically, as I'm kind of thinking of this idea in my head, where's people going to go? You ain't going to the airport unless you're a pilot. No
Right.
chance. So it's the
Yep.
harbor, and we've got big ferries at the harbor that ferry to France and the UK. That's where people are going. It
Yeah.
can't be that hard. If it's the end of the world and you're trying to survive, I'm pretty sure you'll figure out how to drive on those things. Well, you'll make
Oh
it.
yeah. For sure. Yeah.
So mine would be I mean, all the people I've known in the building industry. There's quite a
Yep.
few crazy characters I've known over the years. In IT, and all the people I've known when I was young. I've been here since I was 18, so over 20 years.
Okay.
The the cast for that would be very easy, and I think the goal would be to get to the harbor at some point. And how we're going to get there, who's going to go there, I don't know.
Right.
But that's the initial idea. And how the infection actually lands. I was watching Discovery a few months ago,
Mhm.
and they were talking about this planet X is on an elliptical orbit around our sun. So we go around in a spherical orbit every 365 days. It's the
Right.
radius is pretty much the same. But they reckon that they found this planet out on the edge of the solar system that whips in an elliptical orbit. So
Oh,
it's way far out every 36,000 years, I believe, and then whips right in by the sun and back out again.
huh, that's
So
crazy.
I thought starting the book off would be NASA or all the space agencies declaring that they've seen this planet coming in and it's coming in big and it's going to be a big kind of event for that week.
Yeah.
Later in the day or maybe a day later, that's it, warning everywhere. Get to safety, get to safety. It looks like it's going to hit us. So it's just like chaos for the next few days.
Yeah.
But they got it wrong. They're off by a few miles. And instead of it hitting us, they then realize or then release information to say it's not going to hit us, it's going to skim, but be prepared for disasters because of the gravity changes. I see it where we have our atmosphere and we have this huge planet coming in, and just the fringes of their atmospheres skim each other,
Oh,
causing kind of a bit of earthquakes and stuff like that, a bit
yeah.
of upheaval. But as the atmospheres mix, Planet X drops like a bacteria onto here on the Earth, and much like the cordyceps, you know, in The Last of Us,
Oh yeah.
all it wants to do is survive. So
Right.
and then in the middle of disasters, earthquakes, and cities cracking and falling apart, this disease spreads like the flu or like the common cold. And
Mhm.
a little twist on it where I want the zombies in there or people who are infected still seeing like through a thick glass window, they're in the background watching whatever this organism is in them doing. All at once
Oh,
live. So but you have that duality every single
wow.
time. And
That'd be cool.
if you have that realized, you know, and the people who are killing them, they're going to think twice about killing them when you know someone's in there, but they have to because of
Yeah.
the organ.
That,
That's the initial start with the situation, come up with a
dang.
little cast, see what happens.
That sounds sick. I want to
Yeah,
read that one too. Yeah,
that's
that would
something.
add a whole nother wrinkle to it if they know that the person's still in there. You know,
Mhm.
'cause most zombies, you know, they're gone. So for that would be a whole crazy wrinkle to it for sure. That'd be awesome.
It adds the emotional element, doesn't it? You know, you have to do it. You don't want to, but you have to. And well, we'll see. I'll play with that one. But it's a possible future idea for something.
Yeah, for sure.
Scratch that zombie itch.
I love it. Yeah, you're just checking all the boxes for all the different kinds of things to write about. That's awesome.
I
I
think
love
I
it.
scratch all those kind of itches and see what happens, and then settle into I don't know. It's like a book. I'll just see what happens. You know,
Yeah. Sweet. Love it,
write
man.
writing my own story as I go.
Yeah, right. That's the way to do it. That's life. Let him cook. That's right. I agree. Um, so let's see. We talked about there was something else I thought about that I wanted to ask you. Oh, before we came on, and you talked about how you really love reading Stephen King. So would you say that Stephen King is probably your favorite author, or do you think it'd be somebody else if you had to pick a favorite author?
It would definitely be Stephen King and Richard Matheson.
Oh, nice.
Richard Matheson for I Am Legend. Richard Matheson for his very direct and simple, compact prose. To see the simplicity to me is an illusion because you could write something really really simple, and he walked to the door, and he touched the door, and then he went out the door. I mean that's
Right.
simple, but you
Yeah.
can write something very complex in the way that you write it, but still keep your short, compact prose and description, and
Right.
that's I find that I naturally kind of write that way. And I write that way because I used to be a carpenter. Everything's just kind of it goes there, or hammer a nail here, done. Now I'm a coder. I write code. It can only be one way.
Right. Yeah.
So I think my mind thinks in very short frag sentences anyway, if you like, and very visual in a way. Um, some people like it, some people don't, but you can't help but write the way you do. I'm reading Ernest Hemingway's was it The Old Man and the Sea? Now he's the king of
Oh, nice.
very short, simple,
Right.
but it's not simple. There's a complexity in its simplicity that I find I find beautiful. You know, but when you're learning to write anyway, you're always going to imitate because imitation comes before you find your own style.
Right.
So
Your own voice. Yeah.
you have to start somewhere. So
Mhm.
you're a wee bit of a mixture of everyone you love until
Yeah.
eventually you find your own voice and find the way that you want to write is the stuff that you like to read.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it, as I say, not that simple childish writing, but simple compact stuff. So I tend to mix my sentences up, go from short to long, which I
Mhm.
think creates a nice rhythm um, to your story and just keeps it going. But as I say, I only started February this year, so I'm still learning. I've got two
Oh,
books,
nice.
two short stories, so I'm determined to get there. But it's a very long journey.
Oh,
But
for sure.
that's a very long-winded way of answering your question. Yeah, but
Well, that was a great answer. I love it.
Stephen King would definitely be. I love the way he writes. I love the way he takes the time, and a lot of people find it boring. They're like, "Oh, you could have cut 200 words out of you."
Right.
I often find that myself. He could have, but it's always the payoff. There's always a reason for it. And
Mhm.
by the time you're done reading one of his books,
Right.
you really know those characters, and you really, you know, it, yeah, it's worth it. Even when it's
Right.
sometimes it can feel a little bit of a slog.
Yeah.
So I've kind of gone all out on the veil in that way. I've just let myself go. So I'm pretty sure the editor is going to cut quite a bit. And I'm pretty sure Alex, when he gets a hold of it, he'll be like, right, you need to cut this, so
Right. Yeah.
moving. But again, every time that I do kind of meander or go a wee bit outside the box in the veil, it'll
Mhm.
all tie back into the main story. I won't go outside the box if I'm not going to come back into it again.
Right.
It loops around, so I'm not just going to go off on a tangent
Right.
and
That
so
doesn't have any payoff. Yeah.
it doesn't
Right.
come back to the main story,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
what King does, and I love that, you know. So
That's
uh,
so true.
yeah, he would definitely be my favorite at the minute.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
Hence why that's why I've got all these. I love fantasy, but I've got
Yeah.
so much other stuff that I want to write as well. So there's just not enough time at the minute. But
Ah,
we'll
right.
see.
One thing at a time. Right.
Well, I don't even care that I work full time because I still put in the hours, I still put in the
Yeah.
shift. I mean, I am
Mhm.
not. I'm very tired, but I don't care. You know, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. It's worth it. And all the scribes, they all work that way. Every one of them.
Mhm.
They all really are. It's a great group.
Oh yeah, it is. You guys are all awesome. Everybody's super nice, supportive of each other, and yeah, I can just tell everybody loves writing and books and story, and it's just yeah, it's been great getting to know all you guys. You guys are awesome. So that's cool, man. Keep doing what you're doing because you enjoy it, and I feel like if you're a writer and you enjoy what you do, people are going to enjoy what you wrote. The readers will because it shows through, man. So I could tell you loved writing The Ranger, and I loved reading it because of that. So
Yeah,
well done.
it's not even about money or anything. At the end of the day, it's every writer is somewhat needy in a way, and that's not a derogatory thing. We're
Right.
needy in the sense that we don't write. Well, you write your first draft for yourself, of course, but ultimately you want it out there, and there's no better
Yeah.
feeling. Like you said, you know, when you like the range, when someone tells you they like what you've written, that's what makes it. You know, that's what makes it worthwhile. That's what makes it
Mhm.
all those hours that you sat and you're like, I can't wait for someone to read this and
Right. Yeah.
see the way I see it and come
Yeah.
back and go,
Yeah.
wow, dude, that was amazing. You know, that that's the payoff for me. That's the cash. That's the money. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. If we ever make a
I
big
was
one,
gonna say, I mean, and the money would be nice too, you know.
maybe a movie deal or who
All
knows?
right. Shoot.
Who knows? But that's not my focus. My focus is getting what I have in this
Hmm.
head of mine down and get it out there. You know.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Yeah, man. That's awesome. Very cool. And then you said that your day job, you do coding, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I work for a financial company at the minute, so the finance side of things doesn't interest me in any
Yeah.
way or form. I like the code. Coding is very much like writing, to be honest.
Mhm. Yeah.
If you write a program or a routine, it has to be a start, a middle, an end kind of thing,
Mhm.
and it has to have a flow to it. No, you could write a whole load of words, a whole load of code, and it'll take ages for it to run. Or you can get in there, you write your first draft, and then you get in and you refine it, make your variables better, all this kind of stuff, like what you do in your subsequent drafts after
Right.
your first one. So it's very similar, and it also helps. It helps a lot with remembering plot lines and remembering things. Because if I create a variable at the start of a piece of code, and as that's going through thousands of lines of code, I have to remember what was that for again? What did I like in a story? If you say that someone's wearing a shirt and suddenly they could change them to a jumpsuit, you can't say that he fixed his shirt two chapters later.
Right. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
With the coding, it really does help with that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
but I'm a carpenter by trade.
Okay.
I was a carpenter for about 18 years before I went into
Wow. Okay.
15 years. Yeah, 46 in January. So I'm not getting any younger. I was a carpenter since I was 18
Wow. That's cool.
for a long time. Became a foreman for a while, and I just got fed up with it. Uh,
Hmm.
and when then I always wanted to know how to write code because I find it really interesting. You know,
Hmm.
write all these words, and you just tap a button and something
It
magic
becomes
happens.
something. Yeah, that is really cool. That's true.
But I'm at that point now where I'm not bored of that. You know, it's my job and it pays well. It fuels my writing and stuff. But
Yeah.
ultimately, you know, if I could earn enough where it just covered my wage,
Yeah.
I would. I'd be out of it in a second. A heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yep. For sure. Yep.
It's a lot of work, you know, and it takes a long time, you know. And being self-published in indie, you have to market everything yourself as well as write the books, as well as get the editor, the cover, everything, you know. And without
Yep.
scribes, you know, really great for everything, promoting, support. You need that to help you, you know. Even yourself,
Yeah.
and guys that do to cover all us indies, we'd be nothing without you, you know. And that's how we get our name around. Without
Yeah.
you, we wouldn't be here, you know.
Well,
Which is
same for you guys. Without you guys' great books that we read and want to talk to you guys about, we wouldn't be here. So it works both ways.
circle of life.
The circle of life. That's right. I like it. I just thought of a video idea here. It looks like Corley used to break code. We need to have you make a code on one side, then he tries to break it on the other side. That'd be something.
You need to, yeah. You have to do that as well. Test it and test it and test it. It's the same
Oh
again.
yeah, right.
Your
To make
book,
sure it's good. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's the same. Your first draft, your code is never going to be perfect, and you'll refine and test and test and test. First draft of your book is the same thing. It's never going to be
Right.
perfect. You refine till you think you've got it, and then you give it to a beta reader like Alex, and he'll tear it apart, and you'll want to give it up. You'll never want to do it again.
Everyone going to do them again, right?
No. I'm looking forward to Alex because I know he will be brutal, and they'll be like, nope. He's very, very good at that. He's got that engineer's head, you see.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
For sure. Yep. And like he said, yeah, a jack of all trades, right? You got to do the writing, you got to figure out the editing, the cover, the art, and you got to market it. Yeah. I mean, there's just so many things that go into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work, but yeah, you get to be in charge of it though, right? So that's the good side to it. You don't have to, you
Yeah.
write the story you want to write instead of the story that someone's telling you need to write, right?
Plus, two, look at that lady just this week who did a post last week, wasn't it,
Yeah,
on X?
I saw your post.
She was like, I sold 2 copies and went viral. She's now #1 in America.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fuck, it's crazy. It's mad.
You never know. Yeah.
You just never know. Yeah, you write that one that. So as an indie, you keep improving your art and your craft all the time. Put your books out 1 to 2 a year,
Mhm.
build a portfolio, and you hope that one day you just write that one that just goes viral, it just catches on,
Yep.
and then you've got a back catalog for people to fall back on, and you see what happens.
Yeah,
Or
for sure.
another way, you got your books there and you're starting to do well, and someone notices you in the traditional publishing side of
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
and you know some indies get picked up that way. But the
Mhm.
most important thing is to read and write every day.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Right.
There's nothing else. It's just not going to happen. If that's what you want, that's what you got to do.
Yep. You gotta put in the work, right? It's not gonna just magically happen for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think her name was Vicky Ball, right? Yep. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, I just noticed it's 6:00. This flew by this hour already. That's wild. Well, 6:00 for me. So it's what, 11 now for you?
11 now for me. It's my big thing.
How's that beer? Did you finish that bad boy off?
I've got a little bit left. I'll finish this now before I go to.
Nice. And you got your writing in already, right?
I did, yeah. Before I got home, I got
Good.
2.5 chapters edited. I've got about
Okay.
I've got 5 or 6 left to do, and the ending to write, and it'll be done. It'll be on the way to you soon.
Yes, I cannot wait, dude. You had me hooked. You know, it was funny. I read, I think we talked that day, but I was proctoring exams at school, and I'm like, like I don't have any work to do right now. I'll just start reading that because I was gonna wait till I got home, but I'm like, I'll just start reading it now. He just sent it to me, and then I read it the whole time I was proctoring the exam. So it was pretty awesome, man. I was trying to make sure nobody was cheating, but I was like, I was hooked. He sucked me in. It's good. I'm excited to read the rest, dude.
I love it. It does. It pulls you in, and a lot of it's again based on Ireland in real life. And I've seen snowstorms. I've seen when it's like how cold it is. It was very easy to write and to create that atmosphere where you just know, the storm starts slow in the morning, and you just know but it's totally unexpected.
Right.
At the end, you're like, what the. And then it just gets worse from there on. It's a roller. Even when I'm editing it and I'm reading it myself, I'm like, I want to get past certain chapters because it's stressing me out. I'm like, oh, I know how it ends. It's
right.
It's intense. It's intense, but I hope that I've built a little bit of a platform now with Ranger. So the next one might do that a little bit better, and it's going to be quite a difference from Ranger. So we'll see what happens.
Oof, can't wait, dude. Cannot wait. So yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on here, man. It was awesome. Yeah, it was so much fun. So I gotta get off to go make my kids dinner because they're gonna start yelling down to me that they want to eat soon. So thanks for being on. I appreciate it. We'll definitely do it again for sure. We should do it again when The Veil comes out. Because that would be awesome to have you on and talk about that book then.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Big time.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you to everyone that was in the chat. You guys were awesome. You asked great questions as always. So we will see you guys in the next one. And until I do, as I always say, devour your TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. And we'll see you guys. Take it easy, everybody. Have a great night.